to say you're a great rapper and you can't make a song, that's like saying that you're a great basketball player but can't make a 3-point. That's the shit that I aspire to. He called it out. Y'all don't want to hear me. Y'all just want to dance. Hey, yeah. That's the most. I would say the most unique sounding song I've heard on the radio in the past 15 years. That's the biggest plot twist ever in Tyler the Creator mythology. Because
that's facts. Yeah.
Fuck my dad. My dad ain't shit. Work a rule. Then plot twist. Nah, bro. Your mom's a tripping. This is gonna be another controversial take. That rappers like Ian are important. And no, Ian is not the signal of hip-hop's impending doom. He's just, a product of it.
Welcome to the Sound-Centric Podcast. I am your host, Adam Dash, and today we are joined by Baton Rouge's own Quadry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having me. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Used to be TV World. They didn't renamed it. Yeah. YouTube bought the rights to TV Land, so now it's YouTube World.
Yeah. So my guy right here dropped a new incredible album, A Magnolia, and we were talking about this before. I'm gonna take Elsie, shout out to Elsie, her read on the album, which changed my perception. She was like, "Damn, this sounds like that Dat Piff era, that mixtape era, where you're hearing a whole album of storytelling." And we're gonna dive way deeper on this about how digestible this is, but I want to know, how are we feeling 1 month after the release? What's the reception feeling like? What's it feel to get these stories off the chest?
Yeah. It feels good, bro. A month after it dropped, I still feel like it's more people to discover it. I still feel like it's a whole, the next tier of artists that's been in it longer than me or kind of got more of a head start in the game than me. They're gonna get onto it and start sharing. So it's like it's just the beginning, and I'm and I'm really excited. So far, just the people like you, Annabelle, Elsie, showing the love. It really confirms all the shit I was thinking about when I was making it. What I wanted to stand next up to as far as like the blog era tapes that I grew up on, how I wanted people to feel, just from the lyrics, bow, like what you're trying to say now, have people feel how I felt in these situations. And also getting a story off, like bro, I've been trying to make this album for 3 albums, 4 if you want to count my like early works.
Yeah.
So just being able to nail this fucking concept I've been trying to nail for like 8 years, it feel like, bro, it feels wonderful.
And just like the way you start the album, because I know you went into this, you're like, I want to make something that feels like cinematic in a movie. And My Little Revolution, I mean, just the way you enunciate every single word and you really put like the fib and the floor, the scene, like every word hits so hard that it's like, oh shit, like this is like a serious energy coming in. I mean, when you make a song like that, you're like, did you make it like this is going to be the intro, or do you make it and you're like, that has to be the intro? Like that sounds like the start of the story.
All right, so let me just give you the whole background on that song in particular, because that was one of the last songs I made. Yeah, like I was turning the album in December. I made that like in November. I want to say no, October probably, because I had 2 trips to finish the album.
Yeah.
October LA, and I went back in December right before Christmas. So the producers who are on that part that you're talking about, the intro part, the second part of that song was made way prior to that, when Black Odyssey sent me that beat. I was trying to write to it. I couldn't really get the flavor I wanted to it, so I sent it to my friend Wakai, and he killed it.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. Shout out to Wakai. He's from BR too.
Oh, I didn't know he's from Baton Rouge. For some reason, I thought he was from Chicago.
Yeah.
My bad to the BR.
Yeah, where you thought he was from?
I thought Chicago for some reason.
Nah, G. Nah. That's us. That's our flavor.
That's all me. Hand up.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. We brand new. But something him, he killed it. Now that first part, all right. I wanted Paris, Texas on the intro.
Whoa.
I hit up what's the not
I,
Felix,
I
the
don't know their
taller
individual
one.
names.
Oh,
I don't. I can picture them.
yeah.
What?
Felix is the shorter one,
Okay.
and the taller one, I forget his name, but his Instagram name is um Everybody Can't Be Famous. Oh, Louis Pastel,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Louis. So me and Louis will talk sometimes, and I was just telling him, this is before the beat was even made,
Yeah.
anything. But I knew what I wanted the intro to sound like.
Yeah.
Like I wanted it to sound like Paranoia. I I wanted it to sound like the night of my high school graduation. It's like, like we didn't like graduated, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, shots starting to ring off. It's like, so it's that innocence leaving, enter paranoia
Yeah.
and like the shit that comes with that. So I, I was in I was in LA trying to link up with him. Lo and behold, the guy who runs my label, he's Amine's manager. His name is Justin Lehman. And he linked me up with Amine's main producer, Pascal.
Okay. Yeah.
So I go to Pascal's house. Um, I'm trying to see how.
Yeah. How it connects it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that Paris, Texas thread is still in play. I'm just trying to remember how I got in touch. Okay, so I got in touch with Paris, Texas main producer, Delete. Well, he he produced a good bit of midair.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Amine's main producer and I have Paris, Texas main producer. So
Those are two
we're
different sounds.
right.
That's rocking like some bangers coming.
Right. So, but listen to how the intro sounds. It feels like them two. So the piano part, that's the leap. He had a part that his friend played. So he's playing that. I'm like,
Mm.
like I wrote the rap to his piano part, no drums.
Yeah.
So I think I laid it down. I, I probably did lay it down. And then Pascal added the drums. Now it's one more element. Those little like those like those little
Yeah.
ad libs.
Yeah.
That's a T.I. acapella from 24s.
Okay. That's
Further on in the track list,
you shout
I
out Ti.
still ain't forgave myself. I
I
feel
feel like
like
tip.
walk with
Okay.
me, walk with me. I'm not, bro. Walk with me.
Walk
Okay,
with
all
me.
right. So yeah, all right. So that's how that came about. That first part of the intro. Yeah, and that's what it was. And it's crazy that those are two different type of sounds, and I was able to not
Merge.
only execute the idea in my head, but also able to explain it to them,
Mm-hmm.
but then also being able to listen to what they got and like being like, okay, all right, that piano joint that wasn't 100% in my mind, but it fits the mood I'm talking about. And then the
Yeah.
drum, and then we find the sound. But
It
yeah,
it's
that's
it's insane. I love, and I, as a rap nerd, just like the cadence of it, like the din in it dent, din in it dent. Like you keep hitting that one word really hard, and you feel like
mm,
you're in like the back of the car, like in the you feel like you're in the scene, and you carry that out throughout the album. And we were talking about this before, but there's two different types like storytelling. There's the storytelling that's like you need to listen to it in the context of the album. That's like your
mm,
the art of peer pressure, probably like For Your Eyes Only. I mean, I personally listen to that separately, but like you usually listen to that when you're listening to the album. Then there's like the storytelling songs that sometimes you can forget it's even a story and you can listen to it casually. That's like the Wet Dreams, where it's like it's a part. I've heard that song played at parties, and he's like telling a crazy story. And
oh yeah. It's the drums. It's the drums.
I, I think it's also his melody. Like he's saying it in like a
Yeah,
catchy
that
way.
too.
And I think on this album, you mastered that because you add the little ear candy lines to it and you have the good choruses. So it's sometimes you can listen to it without even knowing it's a story, and you can still have that enjoyment. But you went to this album, you feel like you mastered that. Like that was the skill set. You're like, I need to get to that point where I can merge the
Yeah,
storytelling and it.
because that's where all the greats dwell at. Like Kendrick was dead, Outkast was dead, Wayne was dead. to an extent. Um, just all of the artists that I revere, Kanye, Tyler the Creator. He's
Yeah.
starting to figure it out more and more with each album, but like it was always there.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like those are the bro. It's so crazy because that was the bane of my fucking career. Like
Mm.
from the start of me rapping. Can he make a hook? Oh man, he can just rap good. He can't do it. So being able to I don't want to say mastery because I do want to try different stuff and try to take
Yeah.
it to different places, but being able to put really stamp it and you know nail it, that's something that I'm really proud of.
There's so many levels to this shit where there's a lot of good rappers who you listen to and you're like they're skilled at rapping. And then there's the next level of
Mm-hmm,
being like a great artist where it's like, oh, they're making songs that I want to keep listening to. There's a lot of It's cool when an artist does like a straight rap song on an album. Like I love that. But if
mm-hmm,
your whole album is no choruses, all rap, 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 it can be like I get that you can rap, but like I don't know if I'm gonna return to these. It starts blending in. So I think that's like a big next step that you clearly took on this one because there are choruses that make me be able to differentiate what each song was. Because I'm like, oh, that was
mm-hmm,
this chorus, that was this one, and I mean
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that's the separation of like rapper full artist.
All right, I'm about to break your brain with this one.
All right, let's hear
To
it.
me, to me, the only difference is good rapper, great rapper.
Good, okay.
Like it's not straight rapper and artist. No,
Good
if
rapper, great rapper.
because that's what makes a great rapper to me. You got to be able to master songwriting. Like that's one of the
True.
boxes you
Yeah.
have to check. So it's like to say you're a great rapper and you can't make a song. That's like saying that you're a great basketball player but can't make a 3 point. It you know
True.
LeBron can do it all. So what LeBron, KD, Steph is very good at the 3 point shot, but he can definitely penetrate. He can definitely facilitate. So like I definitely understand the sentiment, but it's like I think we done kind of got into this realm of like, well,
But
also it's different parts of hip hop too. It's battle rap,
yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like, like you don't have to worry about like making a song. So it's that part. Then it's
yeah,
this part that's coming out like, like with the TikTok shit, where it's like you just gotta make a like just the most ear candy, sweetest piece,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like and that's the song. But the complete package, those are few and far between, my guy. Like is 5% out of 100.
So I think an artist like, I mean, Kendrick Lamar is the best example of someone who has mastered being able to say something with a message that is also
Mm-hmm.
extremely digestible and replayable. And I know people hate the word replayable, but he's able, like, you can listen to a song like All Right, and you can listen to it without even knowing what the words mean. And it's like a banger and it's played at places. Whether he likes that or not is a different statement. But there's a song like, Hey Ya, like the famous thing for Outkast is like that song's a really depressing song if you listen to the lyrics, but then it's also like a hit song and poppy and people play it like it's the most fun song ever. So I think that's like the level to like making your music have such a deep meaning, but also being able to make it something that people want to replay over and over.
Bro, you say it in a song. Y'all don't want to hear me.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
just
he
want
literally
to
says
dance.
it.
Yes, bro, and that's the shit that I aspire to. He he called it out. Y'all
Yeah,
y'all don't want to hear me. Y'all just want to dance. Hey, yeah. Actually, that's what I want the next album to sound like. Just a bunch of hey yahs, a bunch of all rights, but the message is gonna be really like sobering.
yeah,
But yeah, that's to me. I feel that's when an MC fully comes into himself
yeah.
when he can. Because if you notice, the way Kendrick Lamar structures songs is not like how Outkast structures songs. It's not like how Lauryn Hill structures songs. It's not like how
Hmm.
Jay-Z structures songs.
Yeah.
But they all figured out a way to communicate their ideas, thoughts, feelings, but also making it digestible to the audience. Just like you said, all right, you don't have to even speak English, but we gonna be all right. You
It's a
know what the fuck that
banger.
means.
Yeah, yeah.
So So, that's when I feel an artist evolves. A rapper evolves into his final form, just
Yeah.
on some like Pokemon shit. Because if you notice, all rappers, like all true born, blood bone, they start as like on some freestyle shit.
Yeah.
Like endless bars,
Yeah. Yeah. You have to.
endless bars. But then it refines, and then it starts to, and then they start to sound like themselves.
Yeah,
And
because at
that's when you
first
get
you're
the
just
best.
like you're emulating someone. So like there's videos of J. Cole sounding like Eminem and Kendrick sounding like Eminem. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
as you keep practice and you keep trying to be like your idols, you kind of make that own lane. I'm curious how those artists feel about their songs being like taken a different way. A song like Swimming Pools is a drinking anthem, but it's about the complete opposite of that. So that's an interesting thing. Like it's like your intent, like he was trying to make a banger clearly because it's a banger, but he also
Mm-hmm.
like had the opposite effect of what he wanted his song to be because now it's played at parties. And like that's like it's interesting.
I feel okay. Let me just say this. I I I know Kendrick kind of well. We used to hang out a lot. Um, Not a lot. We hung out a couple times. Um, Back in yeah, bro. Because people would be like, a lot.
Yeah,
What? We hung out a couple times. But from the few times I've been around him, that I you know I feel like that would be his intention,
he has to be
to make
self-aware.
a song
Yeah,
about his you know generational trauma with alcohol. Not just him, his daddy,
yeah,
his
yeah,
granddaddy, but make it to where everybody can fucking sing it, which is
yeah,
kind of like a mind fuck for the audience, because it's like,
yeah,
nigga, like I'm telling y'all my deepest, darkest secrets, but y'all singing it at parties.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
you. That's really all it is.
Yeah. And one more point, and we'll go away from that because I don't want to talk about Kendrick Lamar too much. But that song's crazy because he does something that like I wouldn't think would be so mainstream, where he starts talking from from his conscience in a weird voice. And I don't think any like other artist can like not looking at your mind and then listen to me, Kendrick. Like who can do
This
that?
song was on the radio, bro.
Right? And
Like,
he's talking from like a different perspective of his brain. Like that's crazy to me.
bro, that's the most. I I would say the most not trailblazer, the most unique sounding song I've heard on the radio in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Like just off song structure wise, just like you said, he's fucking having an internal conversation from his conscience. Who's speaking to their conscience on the radio?
Yeah, making it like sound good. I always think this. I'm surprised sometimes how like big Kendrick Lamar is because he does so many weird things that I think is so cool because I fucking love that shit. But I'm surprised like the mainstream loves it because they don't like other artists who do that. But he's
No,
mastered
no, no,
it.
no. He just had a good team. Top
Yeah,
Dog and them. Like, think about it like this: they came up in the era where the West Coast wasn't the hottest thing on earth.
facts.
So they came up under, like what we're making. Not everybody's gonna like.
Hmm.
Just all bases. Just starting out. And like it's a lot of stuff, like timing too helps a lot with artists.
Yeah,
People don't like understand that if Kendrick came out 5 years earlier or after, I don't think he's as successful. But when he comes out with Odd Future coming out and all this coming out with J. Cole, Drake was a weird guy too. Like, as far as like what radio singles should sound like. So he's coming up in this era where the rules are kind of non-existent,
yeah,
and like he can make them up as he go. But I think about that too. It's like, damn, like fuck, it's dope and it's incredible, but it's like it's almost sad in a way, because it's like, damn, what if he's the last other ones? They not saying lit, but just the way the music industry is going, nobody has the time. Nobody
hmm,
he he was on Top Dog for fucking 10 plus years, bro. So what label now has the time to develop an act for 10 plus years and
facts.
still trust them to make shit like that? So which is why I feel so good about y'all liking my music because it's like, damn, okay, the people, the people want it. Like the people want to hear something different and something authentic. You know, like like as opposed to like what I just said, which label is gonna be the one to
Yeah.
be brave. Labels don't have to be brave no more. Elsie gonna be brave. Adam gonna be brave. Annabelle gonna be brave. So.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the goal for me was just like, there's so many talented artists out here that don't get like full interviews, like in-depth interviews about their work, and someone like Nardwaring them. So I'm like, fuck it,
Mm-hmm,
because like they're just as good as anyone else, and it's just a matter of that visibility. And
mm-hmm.
I'm curious about a certain song. So you end the album with "How is the service?" What went into fading out the story at the end?
You ever seen The Sopranos?
I started. I didn't. Okay, I know what happens in the end. I know the ending.
Yeah,
Interest. Okay.
yeah. So that's kind of my way. But I love movies where like there's no resolution.
Yeah.
Just kind of life goes on
Yeah.
because that's how life is. Life does go on. Like there's no credits that roll at the end. Like life goes on. So also going back to Kendrick, sing about me dying of thirst.
The shots at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, all I'm doing is paying homage, bro.
I
Like
love it.
those small details. That's homage to stuff I love. So with Kendrick, the fading out was a symbol. Like to symbolize that these people in my environment, they're gonna be that forever,
Yeah.
or it's an untimely end.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my way of saying that. But
That's
for
interesting.
me, yeah. But for me, as far as the context of Ask a Magnolia, the reason I let it fade out because if you notice what I'm saying at the end, I'm talking about what happens after the funeral.
Yeah.
We got chicken wings, hell hand sing with the woo. And to me, that's a part of the story that's that's the director's cut. That's
Hmm.
that's a scene in a movie that, just didn't
You
fit
didn't make
right
it. Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and I just let it fade out. But yeah, paying paying homage to two of those, iconic pieces of art.
Yeah. I mean, there's such an intersection between like film and music, and I think it's really cool when artists are able to. That's like creative. Like I didn't think about it. Like, oh, it's The Sopranos. The Sopranos ended with spoiler alert for the audience. It just goes black, and you don't know what happens. And it's like, fuck. I
This
mean,
was
you could
probably been out for 30 years.
right,
Bro. If don't nobody
man.
know about it now, fuck them.
I was watching Shawshank Redemption with my college friends, and one of them was like, comes in and is like, they didn't see it, and I'd seen it. Someone walks in and goes, "Oh, do they like break out yet?" My friends are like, "What? He breaks out of the prison?" I'm like, "What do you think this movie is?" And I'm like, "I don't think he spoiled
Shawshank.
it." Have you seen Shawshank?
Shawshank.
It's like,
Huh?
I mean, once it's out for 20 plus years, it's like that's the whole plot of the movie. He's gonna get out of the prison. What do you mean? But
If Family Guy has made a spoof of the movie,
that's what I said. There's a full Family Guy episode about
the
it.
cat's out the fucking bed.
And I've
The
always
cat
thought
is
it'd
out the
be
bed.
like cool if like an artist did like a plot twist type album. Like where you're listening, you're like, what? Like I feel like I haven't heard someone implement that. Maybe they have. I feel like that's
That's
where
what Tyler just did.
was like a plot twist. I feel like Logic's kind of because no one's really rapped about like a completely fictional thing for a whole album, I think. Where I think Logic's kind of dabbled with that with this whole space thing. That would be a
Tyler just did it.
what was the plot twist?
Tyler. On what's like him. Whereas whereas mom says, nah, nah, like your dad was
Oh,
kind of
oh,
cool,
oh.
like he wanted to be a dad.
I mean, that's a
That's the biggest plot
that
twist
is
ever in Tyler the Creator mythology. Because on
that's
the real,
facts. Yeah.
fuck my dad. My dad ain't shit. Murder rule. Then plot twist, nah, bro, your mom's a tripping.
That's facts. I mean, I don't think he made that with like the intention of it being a plot twist. He probably just found that out and he's like, "Fuck." But
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
bro, like and then too another reason why I like the album, just off, just off Hey Jane and like him, it's the thought of somebody somebody said it on Twitter too, that you spend your whole life treating this person as a villain,
Mhm.
but you're coming to find out you're more like him than you realize.
Yeah,
So it's like that's the thing I really like about this album, where it's like his whole career. He bonded with people over that fact.
yeah,
Like him and Earl. He bonded and created, create wait, I think Frank too. I think Frank Dad was that whole clique.
yeah,
Like, like the Absent Fathers Club.
yeah.
They built a bond off that tragic shit that all like happened to them. And now to come find out, oh wait, you know, it might not have been his fault. And also on the flip side, well, shit, I'm having the same situation because I'm fucking with this bitch and I don't want her to have a baby. But if she
Yeah.
do, I don't think I'm gonna be able to. The history repeating itself.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. Someone was like, "All y'all like hate your dads," and then you realize you're exactly like your dad.
Man,
It's, that was hilarious. And yeah, Todd.
bro, like that's some like 20, that's some late 20s, early 30s shit. Like you don't realize that in your early 20s.
I mean, shout out to artists that are really divulging their life stories because it is interesting. It's like he found out in real time something and brought that to the world, and people connect to that because people who have grown up with Tyler and that are age or that age, they're also making those realizations about their lives, and it's like, dang, he matured. He really matured, and he realized like, oh, maybe there's things I didn't understand about the relationship because now I'm having relationships, and I'm like, oh, this must be what my mom did.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, and to me, that's great art. That's great art is showing people that it's not so black and white and it's not so easy, like it's not so good versus evil. Sometimes all that shit mixes up into the same thing.
Yeah, it's like an anti-villain where it's like not the villain of the story, but there's someone that like goes is both you can root for them and you're also like you notice problems with them.
Hmm.
I think that's
Yeah.
what they say Walter White was for like Breaking Bad, where you're kind of cheering for him, but you're also like this guy's awful, but he has his reasons. And I love a
Oh,
good
see, that's the one thing I haven't seen. Breaking
Breaking
Bad.
Bad. I
I
just
gotta
watched it for
watch
the
it.
first time.
Oh, for the first time. That's crazy. How old are you, Adam?
23.
Damn. God damn. I'm 29.
Do I look young for my age or look old for my age?
I can't tell with white people. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like it's like because if you were to say 30, I'd be like, okay, 30 looks like a young
Yeah,
30. But
sure, yeah,
I respect it. If you would have said 18, I would have been like, oh damn, 18, damn, bro, that's crazy. So
I,
from
I,
18 to 30, y'all kind of look the same.
yeah, I miss those reactions when I'd be like, I'm 18. People are like, damn, good for you. You're young doing it. I'm like, thank
Yeah,
you.
we're but all that shit stops after 26. When you tell a person, that you're 26, oh, okay, so what do you do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that cute shit out there, yeah, but like what are you doing with your life? 26. Oh man.
Yeah, shit. I'm gonna hit you with this. Give me your Mount Rushmore of storytelling songs.
The Art of Storytelling Part 1 by Outkast.
Okay, easy.
Children's Story by Slick Rick.
I got that's on my list.
I
They don't
mean,
know. Oof.
that's the one.
It's the
That's the
one.
one. No Tears by Scarface.
Okay.
Think About Me Dying of Thirst by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And Let's Do Rewind by Nas.
Okay. I have a hot take for you. This isn't a storytelling song, but I Gave You Power. I think I'm a s he kind of ruins this song by starting it out saying, I feel like I'm a gun. Like, you don't need to tell us because
Bro,
I think it would have been cooler if you realized after, oh, he's talking from the perspective of a gun.
the producer of the song said that too. If you go back to the retrospective that they did,
Really?
the producer of the song said the exact same thing. He was like, "What? Like, bro,
Why'd you
like,
tell us?
cause, cause I think he did it without saying that. But then like he kind of like second guessed himself and like, oh man, like it might go over people's heads. So he went back and added that.
It wasn't that complicated. Like, that's like
But
if Common started, I used to love her being like, damn, I used to love hip hop. And then got into the song and you're like, yeah, that kind of ruins the ending. Or if
But
Kanye
see,
was like, I used to love Chicago, and then
but see, with the Common one, that's a little bit more specific because he's telling the
yeah,
journey of hip hop. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
you kind of get it. But with Nas, it's like just the way the bars, the first bars from the first verse, they're kind of abstract.
yeah, yeah,
When he's saying like, like I'm the one that took you first. I'm the one that like did all this.
yeah,
I can understand just going back to that time where he did it. It was revolutionary.
yeah, yeah.
So I can get him saying, "Oh, it might go over their head."
But
But yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
funny.
But I totally get what you're saying, cause bro,
Why are
but
you
you gotta think
explaining the
about it.
metaphor?
Yeah, right. But two, you have to realize we're living in a universe where he did do that. In an alternate universe where he
Well, he
didn't
doesn't.
do that, he it probably like, nah, like I gave you power, the vaguest hip hop song ever. So we're yeah.
Maybe, maybe.
I understand what you're saying because the producer said the same thing. Said the
Yeah,
same thing. People gonna get it, bro. But artists, we
yeah,
think we think we're so esoteric that nah, bro. People get that you're talking about a
yeah.
gun. But hey,
For me, I'm a big For Your Eyes Only, like the last song on the album. I
mm-hmm,
love that one. I got
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think the best storyteller ever is Biggie. I got there's a bunch I could have chosen for this one because I think he's really good at like painting a picture where it sounds like a movie. I think Give Me the Loot is really cool because he's like doing the different voices and like it has that ear candy of like the chorus and like pause.
Me, yeah, yeah, bro. I thought that was a different person.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was big. Like I thought that was some nigga that he found. He wrote it and just had somebody. But bro, crazy inflections. The beginning of rap inflection.
Yeah, that one. I also had Children's Story, Slick Rick. That was like the first old hip hop song that I really like fell in love with. And someone
Mm-hmm.
put me onto it, and I mean he's a goat storyteller. And I could have chosen a lot of ones from Kendrick, but I'm gonna go with Duckworth because I think it's just a crazy way to end an album. Because you're just
Fuck.
like the way you're like, if Anthony killed Ducky, Top Dog would be serving life, and I grew up without a father and died in a gun. Just the way to end an album like that is insane,
Yeah. Fuck. I forgot about Duckworth. But I
right?
don't want to change. I don't want to change
Yeah,
it from "Sing About Me" down to "Thirsty." "Sing About Me." That's just like "Sing About Me" is its own genre of music.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's his own thing. But damn, Duckworth, you is right. Fuck
I'm gonna throw in
Duckworth.
also "Prom Night" by Saba, like the last song on "Care for Me."
Fuck. Damn.
I think that's like an
Yeah, yeah.
insane story.
That I'm gonna put that as my honorable mention. Bro, it's so many. Cause I think you yeah, we'll just leave it at that, bro. Cause we'll be here,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. Like we'll just be here all day. Prom King. Let me add
Oh, I said "Prom Night," yeah, "Prom King."
oh shit.
I won't disrespect it.
Yeah, see, look, I just I thought I said it wrong. Um fuck. Let me put in another one.
Eminem has some that like are insane.
I'm I'm not that big of a Eminem discography. Like
Like
I
"Guilty Conscious" with Dr. Dre, like when they're
oh
arguing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, all right. But see, I wouldn't call that storytelling. I would
It
call
kind
like
of,
that's
because he's like an angel and
it
devil, like on the guy's
yeah, yeah,
shoulder.
yeah. Yeah, it is storytelling, but I would kind of compare that more to like what Dave Chappelle does. It's like situational
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot.
comedy.
You could pick Stan then.
Yes, fuck Stan. Stan is the fuck. Okay, Stan. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit, yeah. We gonna do Stan. We gonna do Stan.
So we were talking about this before about the business side of music that like artists don't always talk about, and there's like always the perception of like the person ahead of you has that figured out. And there's always the debate about, I'm an artist, I'm not a content creator. And I think that's sometimes a cop-out answer to like not promote yourself because I think we're in a day and age where you have so many ways to be creative that like you can whatever you like outside of music, like that can be your marketing. You just gotta find a way to like tailor it back to your
Mm,
music. And it's cool when you see an artist do that. Like someone clearly like Tyler loves film. And that's how he does
mm,
that's why he does his short stories. Yes, it also is promotion for the album, but he clearly loves making those little short films that like end up in the album. And there's a bunch of
Mm,
artists who do all their different shit. For you, I'm curious, like, what's that thing? Because you also have crazy music videos for this album. Um,
mm.
but what are your thoughts on that also?
Um, okay, I'm in the middle point because I don't think I haven't quite figured it out yet,
Hmm.
but I do think that's sort of a cop out. But I'm starting to see other people take that same cop out, like journalists or like a DJ.
Yeah,
It the people who just like with every decade, the artists who figured out the music video won. The
hmm,
artists who figured out how to be in movies too while being one. So it's like
yeah,
that is the question of our time. How do you still maintain artistic integrity while being consistent on social media? Um, and doing it in a way that feels, because it can't be selling. It can't feel like you're selling your music. It has to feel like you're living your life. And I just do music.
yeah,
But um, it's two sides of that fence. Also, it's people on the other side, kind of like the executives, A&Rs, the managers that say these things like, "Oh, just be on TikTok." Oh, like kind of just
yeah,
that's the cure all for
yeah,
every every artist that's not doing what they think they're supposed to be doing. They're not on TikTok enough,
yeah,
and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes the music has to be better.
hmm,
Sometimes the image has to be better. It's not
yeah.
just get on TikTok and like you'll fix your career.
It's
Because
funny because people use TikTok now as like, you wouldn't say just get on Instagram. Like, what does get on TikTok mean?
right,
Just get
right,
on the app and just like, there you go.
yeah, just get on TikTok and there's nothing after that. There's like there's no bro because I be searching. I be on Twitter searching for like because I see these arguments and I see these discussions and I'm just waiting for the plan because it's like get on TikTok and then what?
Yeah,
Oh, promote yourself. How? Be yourself. Well, damn, I got to figure that out. But that still falls back on the artist as well. So
yeah.
I think it's the case of yeah,
Take another thing you
okay,
could be creative with.
facts. Because this is what it is, bro. Is people, artists, sensitive people, introverts, um, kind of the antithesis of what you have to be on social media, right?
Yeah,
That are thrown into this arena where and that's why my music videos are great because I had to figure it out. I had to like, hold on, wait, a 3 minute music video ain't doing what it used to do.
yeah.
So how can I tell this story inside the format? So that's where that came from. Limitations lead to innovation.
Mhm.
I'm into it.
And I think it really stands out when
So
an artist does something that you haven't seen. Like recently, this is like an interesting one, but like Lexa Gates did the thing where she stood in a glass gate case for 10 hours. And some artists might look at
mm-hmm,
that like, I'm not
mm-hmm.
trying to be like an exhibit. Like, I don't want to do that. But maybe like she was proud of that idea and she's like, I think this is really cool. And like that was her way of standing out and it got her millions of views. And it's like, you never know. That could have just easily not worked. But it was cool to be like, that was an interesting idea.
If it didn't work, it would have been more artsy, but it
Yeah.
did. And so now it's you see what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like artists too are like we're all snobs. Like
Yeah.
we're all different.
Yeah.
So when something works, and then the other fit side of the fence, like, oh hey, Lexa Gates just
Yeah.
did this thing. Maybe you should try something like that. It, yeah, you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It
Yeah.
immediately like, oh my god, like she didn't know. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but you have to do something. She just did something.
Yeah.
Basically, what she did something and it worked. everybody else has to do something, and it might work and it might not.
Yeah, I think people are
So
always afraid like the cringe factor, and I'm a big believer. Like everything's cringy until it works, and then it's not cringy.
yeah, I mean, but then again, these are just people on the internet saying things.
Yeah,
you know, it's not, the people walking by thought it was dope. The
yeah,
people who interacted with it loved it.
yeah.
So who are we trying to serve?
I think people are sometimes afraid to post like that video of promotion because like promoting yourself just naturally can feel kind of cringy because it's like it's kind of awkward to self promote. But you know what? Like you got to do it. Some people are lucky where they don't have to do it and they just blow up, but that's not like a realistic thought. So yeah, I do
But
that
even that,
post release
but even that,
promotion.
but Pete, even that's curated
Yeah,
because the first person I thought of, and you probably thinking of the same person. Let's on three say the name and see
wait
if it's the same person.
for post release promotion.
No, no,
Or
no.
for
Just the artist that doesn't have to do that, and it still blows up.
let me think. Who
Wait, one,
I'm curious. I
two.
one,
You
two,
don't
three. I'm curious what you're gonna say.
McGee.
Oh, I would not. I was not
McGee.
gonna say him, but I saw he's going on SNL. Good for him.
I ain't never seen one McGee TikTok. I ain't never
Facts.
seen, but it's I see 2 Star in the Dream Police fan pages
Yeah.
who's who's doing that. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
games are being played. Things are being done. It's just a
Yeah.
way to
There's,
fit his brand, and you that's thinking. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like he's not just he just blew up. No, he's still thinking and doing. It's just it's different. So if you don't want to go on TikTok, you find you got to go look at the back end because it's like you can create a page, a Finsta, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and all your shows and all these. You see what I'm saying? So it's ways to do stuff. And if it works, it doesn't. And I'm sorry. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And
Yeah.
that's the journey of being an artist, bro. Trial and error. That's why you make different albums. Like do different things. So
Yeah. And I thought we were just talking about like your short, doing the short music videos, which I couldn't tell from the outside that your intention was people don't watch full music videos. So let me just give them a part. That's actually a really like interesting concept. 'Cause I thought maybe you were like it was a save money thing, or which maybe it
nah,
does. I guess how much more expensive is a minute and a half more of filming?
but I did 7.
You did seven. Shout out to
Yeah.
was it Hannah who directed their
Um.
fire videos?
Yeah. Hannah LaShure,
Yeah.
Dustin Wheeler, Nick Demuse, and Casey Delahousse. Those were the crew members. Oh, and my girlfriend Jade, she did the makeup, the faces and stuff. Um, but yeah, but they're still funny. They still have this wit about them.
Yeah.
There's, it still feels, you know, Ghost of Brandywine, for example, that video, like that's in front of the gas station that we all hung out in
Yeah.
high school. So it's it was comfortable. So
Yeah. How much input did you have into the videos? Did you have an idea like I want to do it here, and then you gave them the song, or were they giving you ideas?
it was definitely a collaboration because Hannah's from Austin and she moved to New York and now she's in
Yeah.
London.
Damn.
So she um you know she's familiar with the South, but it's like Baton Rouge, just the landscape of like how far things are from each other, and things of that nature. So I picked out the locations. We
Hmm.
went location scouting, and like I was just telling her, like, okay, right here, like the police might come, so right
Yeah.
here, they might not. So things like that. But even broader things like I'm wrong. The video from I'm wrong when I'm running with the TV. That's a story my grandfather used to tell me about his childhood, where he did a day's work. They paid him with the TV. He was running, trying to get home as fast as he could.
Hmm.
But when he would see cars pass, he would slow down and walking.
Yeah.
slow down and start walking. So it's like that that always stood out to me because it's like he's the most honest, hardworking person like that I've ever met, and even he
Yeah.
had to, make it look right. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, and then with the American face, the American flag face that I'm also doing in that video. All those things where, she gave me the idea to switch them around because they were all like different songs.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna do the American face for Ghost of Brandywine. So, she told me like, "Oh, are you married to that?" I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm really, I'm kind of not." And that's what you get. That so.
That's awesome. And I think an interesting thing for artists is how they intend a listener to be taking in the album listening. It's like
Mm,
on Monday when Tyler dropped his album, I'm in bed, headphones on, like groggy, and I'm like, this is probably not how he like intended the listener to listen to this at 7 a.m. like in their bed. And I remember last week I tweeted I was listening to your album on the train, and you're like, that's funny. Like I didn't think about the train being like a place where people would listen to this album. So
mm-mm.
double part question, where in your mind, what's the vibe that you expected like a listener to really like love this album? And how do you deal with like understanding like people are gonna listen to it doing random activities that like you're at the shop, right? You're shopping for food, listen to this?
It, yeah, we're oh well, yeah. I mean, grocery shopping to
Yeah.
ask a Magnolia would be intense, I would imagine. But to be honest, two events that I imagine this album would be listened to. You and your friend, y'all are riding somewhere. Y'all going someplace. But on the ride there, that's what y'all play. Also, it's like 9 p.m. Friday. You and your friend are like in the car smoking, having a conversation.
Okay.
Ask a Magnolia is playing.
Yeah.
So those two events. In transit, chilling with your homie, smoking, talking, Ask a Magnolia is playing. And maybe at the barbershop, they playing it, on speaker. So those three things.
So Baton Rouge, proud. And sorry for getting Wakai wrong for there before. But there's the debate about Lil Wayne at the Super Bowl, and I'm curious because I'm sure you're a Saints fan. Are you a Saints fan?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. I'm
But
saying fan.
I'm sure, I mean, I know Lil Wayne's one of your goats, but like, how did you take that? Were you looking forward to maybe him representing and like other Louisiana artists being on that stage?
Hmm. I think you got the right one to answer this question, bro. Cause I love Lil Wayne. And
Yeah.
I would love to see Lil Wayne perform at the Super Bowl. But first of all, does Lil Wayne know he doesn't get paid Super Bowl?
Hmm.
Secondly, I don't like the video that it looks like he was forced to make after the outrage.
Yeah.
That's not Wayne. Wayne, if that's not Wayne. Like, if y'all wanted me to do it, yeah, it they would have got Wayne. So
Yeah.
you know, Wayne don't want to be nobody's second choice or nobody's
Yeah.
plus one. A small piece of Kendrick Lamar said, "Nah,
Yeah.
that's not what Wayne deserves." So let's stop trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
Now you got Kendrick. It's safe to say he's the best living hip hop artist right now.
Hmm.
The most popular too.
Yeah.
I mean, this I don't know how it gets what this summer brings, but Drake is still pretty like globally popular. But he's, if not the most popular, the second most, like he's one of the most well known people in the world
Yeah.
right now. And then he has a message. Like, we can't get much better than that.
Mhm. He's also like
So
he's also a very theatrical performer, which is usually like who the Super Bowl is, because like you're like the Bruno Mars and the Beyonce's doing like a whole like he does that stuff on his tour.
now this, I'll say this, which might be kind of controversial. I feel when an artist does the Super Bowl, it's kind of that's the end of their rebelliousness as far as like the system.
Hmm.
Because when you do the Super Bowl, I mean, you're sanctioned. You're not gonna say anything out of turn or out of the box. It ain't gonna be no George Bush.
Yeah,
George Bush don't like
that's
black
why
people.
they're not getting Kanye. People keep saying that. They're like they're not trusting Kanye on the most popular U.S. show of the year.
I wouldn't trust him at a quinceañera, bro. I wouldn't give him the mic at bro. I wouldn't give him the mic at a graduation party. Like,
Yeah.
nah. But yeah, like so that's another part of it too, which kind of scares me. Like, damn, Kendrick Super Bowl.
I mean,
All right.
he's probably dropping an album around that time, so
I mean, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm just speaking of for it's like, the message.
yeah,
It ain't gonna be no free gospel.
yeah.
So it's like, all right, I guess that's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is.
I saw in an interview you were describing like how you think of some of the shit you write about, and you said I pull the strangest shit out of the strangest shit, which I liked that phrase a lot. And I always love when artists you can see like what they fuck with in daily lives in their raps.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell if they're like basketball head,
Mm-hmm.
film person. What are some of those what are some of the inspirations that you I know you were talking about friends in that interview as one of the possible inspirations for some of the lines, but what else is Quadry inspired by that's coming in the music?
Movies. I like One Piece. You you know that anime One Piece?
I'm not an anime guy. Have not got into it.
All right. But basically, it's a lot of parallels in hip hop, which I'm drawing, just to make it
Yeah,
fun for me. So this world is full of pirates, like Japanese, anime
yeah,
Japanese. So these pirates, some pirates have these powers from devil fruits. Devil fruits are fruits you can eat, and it kind of, it gives you like a crazy power.
yeah.
But the thing is, if you eat it, you can't swim. So
Okay.
the pirates that have, they drown. So, that's the one thing. Now, it's a group of pirates called the Worst Generation. It's 11 rookies and Blackbeard, basically, who's,
Yeah,
got he's eating two of the most powerful ones. He got the earthquake fruit, the fruit that you eat that gives you the power to do earthquakes, and the fruit that you eat to give you the power over like total darkness. So the 11 super rookies kind of like pick 11 dope MCs right now. They are trying to destroy the four emperors of the sea, aka the big three.
yeah.
So either you align with the big three to live, or well, big four, or you kind of make these alliances amongst yourself, working
Hmm.
sideways as opposed to working vertically.
Yeah,
So what I get from that, just being like a Yonko level MC, that's something I've been like telling myself. Just a rapper so good, I can go toe to toe, you know, with the big three, big four,
yeah,
whatever you want to call it. So it's stuff like that that I pull from as like motivation to
yeah,
make raps. The strangest shit out of the strangest shit. So, it's stuff like that. Sopranos with the, how it was a service. That's probably not as strange, but let me see. Yeah, movies, TV, cartoons, books. I've been really getting into like these like photography books from like I got one like the New York Times
yeah.
took like pictures that they didn't publish or whatever from like the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So I look at those and I just be getting inspiration on like how to paint the pictures
Yeah.
that just the way that I rap. So it's like if you listen to songs like I'm Wrong, where I say I got the soda can basically I'm explaining the sensation of drinking soda, but I say, like lightning in my jaw.
Yeah.
So that comes from like looking at these picture books of like, a kid from the 50s, like drinking a Coca-Cola in his fucking face.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
interesting. Yeah.
the strangest shit out of the strangest shit.
So you're
So
you're you're someone into like you probably had the idea of drinking a soda, then you thought like, how can I make this a bigger, more imagery thing? That's interesting.
mm, yeah, yeah, and just from like looking at the picture like that, and just thinking like, damn, it looks like he's drinking lightning.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that. And then too, I'm an MC. So it's like like I'm always looking for those turns of phrases. Like Wayne does it very well. Like the personification of stuff, like the bullets flying like birds,
Yeah.
like you can hear them bitches humming, that's
I love that.
borderline.
Yeah. I love what you're saying. Like some artists like have such a creative way about going saying things. Like I'm a big Smino fan, and he says some things where I'm like, he's like, I'm fly as bald eagle pussy. I'm like, what if that's a great way to say that without being generic.
We're like, you know, he's from the South, St. Louis. Oh well, no, they don't reclaim the South, but different ways of saying stuff. And, that's what I like about different mediums too, movies, like you can steal a line from a movie and then flip it, so yeah, the beauty of hip hop music. Hmm. See,
And
look,
I
it got my brain working now.
right? And I love hip hop because I think it's just made like you're just hearing stories from everyone's all these different backgrounds that you might not have experienced because we're all from our different bubbles of life, and that's probably my favorite part. Like I think
Yeah,
it's genuinely made me a better person because like you're it's kind of like if you read history of like different histories of people, it's like you're learning different. I don't shout hip hop,
yeah, likewise, bro. I can confidently say it has made me a better person as well. It's giving me like empathy, like it's
100%.
really gave me the ability to step outside of my own shoes and, you know, be in somebody else's. But that's why I feel like this is going to be another controversial take, that rappers like Ian are important. And no, he's not the signal of hip hop's in. Wait, let me say again. Ian is not the signal of hip hop's impending doom. He's just, you know, a product of it, whether we like it or not. He's a kid that grew up on all this stuff. You
Yeah,
can hear it from the way, he makes his music. Now, it might be a discussion to be had about why does he feel the need, why doesn't he feel like, I he's a very interesting case, and that's why I just fuck with him being a part of hip hop, because this white kid feels like he has to make stuff that sounds like Future
yeah.
to be, you know, not. I don't even want to say to be popular because I don't know his intentions. Maybe that's what
He might be
he's
a
making what he likes.
he might be a future stan, and like the same way I'm like a J. Cole stan, and I made J. Cole sounding music. It's like he's just making music that sounds like what he listens to.
Right. But I gotta listen to more Ian too to
Yo,
really know the like the subject matter. But it's
yeah,
like, I
he's got
mean,
he's got funny bars. I'm not like an Ian fan, but he says some lines where I'm like, that's hard. That's a good line.
it's but okay, the beauty of it, we got this kid who like he obviously he oh Lord, because words do mean things. He he loves it at the
Yeah,
very least. Now, how he might manifest that love or interpret it might be different than say a meme.
yeah,
Um, but it's still love in the very same. But I feel like him getting a chance to tell his like in any other genre, there's no other genre, and maybe it's to its detriment. But there's no other genre you can come in and try stuff. Like rock, you got to know who you are
Yeah.
before that even pops off.
Yeah.
Country, you gonna be a country artist. It ain't no alternative country.
Yeah.
But
Hip hop, it's just there's so
think
many
about that.
there's so many subgenres. Like there's so many ways to do it because it's like a broad. There's so many things that are considered rap that I get what you mean. Like it's a big
It's kind
umbrella.
of like it's America's creative. You know how countries kind of give like stipends for like their artists and stuff, and they have these big school like
Yeah.
that. Kind of is like America's like open air, creative design school.
Yeah.
When you're a hip hop artist, you know how to make your own cover art. Just bass. It's some hip hop artists that know how to do all these things. They can make their own cover artists, can direct their own videos, can record themselves, can write their own lyrics, can make their own beats. That's a wide. No other genre is where you're doing all that.
Yeah.
So it's flexing creative muscles. Dress themselves. it's flexing these and it has to fire at a high clip. You always have to be changing yourself and doing something different.
Yeah.
Bro, it's the best creative gladiator school in the world. And I think that's why American rappers are always going to be so polarizing and so in whatever
Yeah.
form they take. Because, it's just the product of how the society is set up.
Yeah.
Where else was Baby Kia going to express himself?
Nowhere else.
Where else? So it's
I,
like
I
that's
don't
why
want
it's
to cut you
important.
off because I think we're about to drop out of time.
Mm-hmm.
But this combo was so dope, and I appreciate it. And this album is truly one of my favorite albums of the year. So I want to give you a chance to shout out where the people can find you. And yeah,
Um, at on Instagram at Quadry Gives QUADRYGIVES. Twitter at _quad. And from there, I think you can find your way and just Google me, Quadry QUADRY, pop up musical artist. Spotify, same thing.
yes, sir.
Other than that, Adam, thank you for having me on. Ask a Magnolia is out now.
There you have it, guys. If you made it to the end of the podcast, thank you for tuning in. I am Adam Dash at Adam Dash _DASH on every platform and Sound Century Music on every platform. And we shall see you next time. Peace.